Hello everyone, it's the Quick Kitchen Tips with Matthew. Today we're going to be doing a Budweiser steak dip. Super Bowl's coming up, so I was hoping to get some more appetizer stuff ready before then, but this will be aired before the Super Bowl. Perfect little, I was going to use England, but this, I don't drink, so it's the only beer that I've seen that was sort of an American beer that was in a 16-ounce can, because I don't feel like I needed a big. I feel like the 22 of them would have been too much. So we're going to start off with a pound and a half of steak. I've got a half a stick of butter in here. Now I use some cheap steak. It's not quite sirloin. It's something cheaper than that. I forget what they called it, but that's what I'm using. I'm using cheaper. But you can use whatever kind of steak you want to use. Then we're just gonna do a little salt. That's 1 teaspoon of salt. This is a half a teaspoon. I can't find my measuring things. Oh Lord. And we're gonna do I'm going to call that a teaspoon of black pepper. 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Let me get my something to stir it with. We're going to get this meat pretty good and brown before I start adding anything else to it. I'll show you what we got going on over here. What's what we got going on over here? Just gonna keep stirring that around so it all gets pretty well brown. I was just going to grill this off on the grill. I was trying to cut back on the steps, so I was just going to grill it off, mark it off real good on the grill, and then cut it up and add it at a different time. But this seems to be okay right here. So now I've got 1 bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper. You want to use the red, it's got the flavor I'm looking for. 1 jalapeno, which is, and I got 3 cloves of garlic. I think I wrote it down when I was chopping all that stuff up. So we're going to put that in there. And I know everybody's going to ask, where's the onion at? Well, I'm going to do the onion at a different time. Well, actually, I'm going to put the end piece. We're going to use the whole thing of green onions. The whole, usually you either put these in water and try to grow more green onions, or you throw these away. So we'll go ahead and throw these parts in there, but the green tops, I'm going to hold them back. So we'll throw the little scallion part in there. We're going to mix it in here with these vegetables and this beef. So then, next thing I'm going to do, let that cook for a second. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting those green onions up. This dip shouldn't take that long to make, but it may take long enough to where I need to take a break from and let stuff do what it needs to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut this up while that's... I want to get them peppers at least sort of translucent. Alright, so we are throwing some of this away. This stuff right here getting really no good, and animals ain't supposed to be eating onions. Alright, so we're looking pretty good here. I'm going to taste a little piece of this beef, just see. It's got good flavor. It's got enough salt, got enough pepper, got enough garlic and the jalapeno without being overwhelmingly hot. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Pour my Budweiser in here. That may be enough right there. I don't even know what you'd call it. That's probably going to be, I'm going to say that's a 12-ounce can. I'm not going to overdo it. I can always pour more in, but I can't take it out. So that's going to be, I'm going to say it's a 12-ounce. That's probably a 12-ounce can of Budweiser. I may end up adding more to it later, but like I said, I don't want to overwhelm it. I've never used Budweiser with cheese sauce. Usually use a darker lager. I don't drink, so I wasn't going to buy a bunch of stuff that I wasn't going to use. So I got my heavy cream here. We're going to now add this. That's about a half. It's about a half of heavy cream. We'll see. I'm gonna start adding my cheese. I want to use that whole thing of heavy cream is what I want to use, but I don't know if this pan's big enough. And we'll see what the cheese ends up doing with this. I feel like this is enough cheese to make it, because I don't want to add any kind of thickening agent. I just want this stuff to melt down. I've cut it in cubes. Now this sauce would cook a little quicker if you shredded it or bought the shredded that was already shredded, but I got this pepper jack and it was cheaper to buy it's 2 pounds of pepper jack here. It was just cheaper for me to buy this, and I didn't want to shred it. I didn't want to make no mess, and it was just fast for me to cube it. You can do it however you want to do it. If you're looking for speed as far as the cooking time, shred's the way to go. This is going to take a little longer to melt and do its little magic, but it's also going to give us a little more time for the flavor to soak in on all that other stuff. So this is probably the right thing to do here. So we're going to put the lid on this now, and we'll be back. Alright, so guys, I'm back. Okay, so this, I had some complications with it, but I was able to fix it. So I'll tell you, do not use the Great Value pepper jack, the block cheese, or maybe I had it up a little too high. So I mean, I cut it down low, but maybe it was too hot when I put it in, so it was sort of clumping up a little bit, and it wasn't actually melting all the way. So I've had Parmesan cheese do that before. So I'm going to give you all the recipe, and I'm going to show you what this stuff is. It tastes good. The only reason why there's no problem with it. It's actually still a good dip. It didn't have the chunks of beef, which actually is going to make it a little bit more of a dip, because I used a cheaper grade of beef, so it's a little tougher. No, but it's got all the good flavors. The only reason why I'm even like really putting this video out here. So what I did is I got this immersion blender right here, and I blended it. So now it's just all blended up. It looks like more of the kind of rotel dip or something that you're used to eating, and it helped thicken it up because it wasn't I don't know, the cheese just wasn't melting right. But top it off with some of the green onions. I didn't end up putting the green. I just used the scallion part, so we just top it off with green onions. I'll show y'all what it ended up making. So you can cut the recipe in half if you want, but the dip itself, it looks like a regular sort of a hamburger. You know, when they use the hamburger meat and the whatever. So you can use a different type of cheese you want, but I can taste the flavors there. Only reason why I'm posting it, because there was some, and it's good for people to see somebody mess up and be able to fix it, because it is fixed. You know, I just had to use a blender. I've had to do that with sometimes you're making an Alfredo sauce and the Parmesan cheese is just clumps up and gets gooey. That's the only thing I've ever been able to do is blend it, and then sometimes I end up having to strain it too, because it just, even sometimes blending the Parmesan cheese doesn't work. But this dip, it's a really tasty dip. Nobody's going to complain about it. Like I said, do Do not buy that great value pepper jack cheese, and keep it on really low heat. It's a good dip. I wouldn't be putting it out here. It's just there was some complications in it. You could even swap out cheeses, a different type of cheese that maybe you could just use the Velveeta block. It'd probably be easier just to do that. We'll go with 1 red bell pepper, diced up, 4 cloves of garlic, diced up. Use rough chop this stuff really if you end up blending it anyway. 2 pounds of pepper jack cheese, or the cheese of your choice, mozzarella or cheddar. I would maybe just get the Velveeta. The pepper jack cheese did give it a good flavor though, so that's where a lot of the flavor is in that particular cheese. Just don't get the great value one. Then I did 1.5 pound of steak chopped up. I put the ends of the green onions, the scallion part, I put that in there, sauteed it in there. I started off with 1/2 stick of butter. That's what I actually sauteed all that stuff in. Then I added what I'm going to say was 12 ounces of Budweiser. I still got may have been less than 12. It's about 1/2 16-ounce can, so about 8 ounces. About 8 ounces of Budweiser. I'll write that on there, 8, because that's more like 8 ounces. You can add more if you want. You can add more if you want. It's about 1/2 can. I did 1/2 quart of cream. And you've seen the process, but the only thing you didn't see was me struggling with the cheese, not wanting to melt all the way right, and then me having to use the blender because I didn't want to waste ingredients. I almost didn't shoot the video, but like the sauce is good. It tastes good, and you can't tell no difference because it looks like the regular Rotel dip that you would get, that you would be eating anyways. It's got a different flavor because it's got steak instead of hamburger meat. With all these other little seasonings and stuff. So I'm going to put this up for you to read. And thanks for zooming in, and until next time, have a blessed day. Alright guys, so This is the Budweiser steak dip. This actually, I've already did the video, so I'm trying to add to it. So it's like this was something that I came up with the next morning after reheating it, because there was a bunch of the cheese didn't melt right. I had to blend it. Y'all gonna see in the video, or maybe y'all done seen because I don't know if I'm putting this in front or back. But the next morning, I was wanting some breakfast. I just heated this stuff up in the microwave. And I laid this stuff out on this tortilla. This morning though, I just did some whole eggs, and I left them a little runny. I'm gonna break this stuff up. Tell you what, this really just sort of blew my mind this morning when I ate breakfast. I just sort of made some little tacos out of this. Just the egg and the dip. I just sort of fold them over like that and ate them just like that. That's a good little breakfast taco, man. A little soft shell taco. I wrapped them up a little bit, but I ate them more like this. You don't get a better breakfast than that. So the queso dip actually ended up turning out really good tasting. Now it doesn't look the greatest. It was really good to eat with the chips, and then the next morning I reheat and eat it with make tacos with it. The next time, or you'll see.